Starting. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Christine Gutierrez, and I am a therapist and an emotional empowerment coach, and I actually coined that word. And today I'm coming to you live from Bushwick in Brooklyn, where I live. And I am here to talk about the topic that we talked about last time, which is how to get unstuck. And before we do, I just want to start off with a little bit of a meditation and nothing crazy, but just something very simple just to get us back into our bodies and bring us into the here and now. So if you can, and you're a place where you can sit up straight, place your palms facing up or facing down on your lap, and let's just take a deep breath together. Inhale in through your nose. Expanding belly on the inhale and exhale it out. Inhale in. Exhale it out. We call ourselves back from all time and all places. We call ourselves back from all time and all places. We call ourselves back from all time and all places. We are here now. We open today with an energy of sisterhood, of community, of tribe, and of deep healing. We open this conversation so that the words that we need to hear can flow through me and through ourselves so that we can hear what it is we need to hear to get unstuck. Today's conversation is about how to get unstuck and how to unlock the miracles and the potential and the energy and the creative flow that lies beneath the feeling of stuck and stagnant energy. We open this circle and we call upon our higher self and all our angels and guides to be with us here as we open up this conversation and this dialogue. We call on the energy of learning and of healing, of compassion and of truth. And so it is. Welcome. So every time I do that, I always feel like ding, like I'm connected again. And so I think that it's so important for us to just take a moment. Like today, I took some moments and I just did some of my breathwork practices, and I'll actually share that with you. I'll actually hear myself. Maybe you can mute.
Okay, I'm just gonna end the.
Oh, I can hear you live. So if I wanted to bring you on screen, I could bring you on screen. This is so cool, guys. Okay, join group chat. Okay, anyway. Sorry, guys, Miguelina's here. She'll make a guest appearance. So this conversation is really about how to get unstuck, because at some point in our lives, we will always find ourselves feeling stuck. At one point or another in our life, we're going to come against an obstacle where we're going to feel like, holy-ish, what do I need to do? And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to approach this conversation. I don't feel inspired. I don't know what to do to get more money. I don't know what to do to let go of this relationship. I don't know what to do to feel happy. I don't feel inspired in my job. There's always going to come a point in our life where we're going to feel stuck. I can promise you that. And if you are alive and breathing, then you probably hit a moment in your life already where you can say, yeah, I've gone through that. I have gone through moments where I have felt stuck. Feeling stuck isn't something that we're particularly excited about or happy about. It isn't something that we sit at home and we're like, hey girl, I'm so excited to feel stuck. Don't you love it when you feel stuck? Isn't it such a good and an expansive experience? Like, it doesn't matter how spiritual we become. We are still humans in a body, and stuckness is uncomfortable, and uncomfortability is painful in our bodies. And it's about understanding and sitting with both our human self and our spiritual self and coming to terms with both of them at the same time. I shared this in the last webinar, and I'll share it again now, which is that stuck energy and stagnant energy hold miracles right underneath the underbelly of that stuck energy. So imagine that stuck energy that's in your life right now. And imagine that right underneath it, there's like all this sparkling miracles and blessings and growth and transformation that you cannot see. there's certain tricks, and I don't like to call them tricks because it's not really a trick, but there's certain techniques that we can do to A, calm yourself in the moment of the stuck and stagnant energy because it's uncomfortable, and B, there are certain things you can do in order to get into the bottom of it so that you can actually access it. One of those things is having faith and meditating so that you can calm your nervous system amidst that stuck energy. The other thing that you can do is to borrow from experiences that you've had in the past where you've gone through experiences where you felt stuck and you did figure it out. Because it's important for our psyche to understand that it has figured things out before, that life has worked things out before, and that usually right before something in your life is unfigureoutable, or so it seems, there is a massive opportunity for growth on the other side of that. And so notice where in your life right now you are feeling stuck energy. And if you have a journal, take a moment to write it down so that you can actually see what it is that you are going through that is making you feel stuck, right? Like right now, my technical difficulties could have been a moment where I felt stuck. I didn't know how to figure it out, but I already know better now. And in some situations, it's easier to ride the waves than others. You know, Marie Forleo has this quote that says, everything is figure-outable. And so instead of freaking out, I downloaded the system. It didn't work the way I wanted to. I don't even know what this tech is doing right now, but I believe it's working in some place in the internet, and I can send the recording to everyone. And so, you know, there's moments and learning lessons and opportunities behind every single stuck moment in our life. So again, take a moment and write down what are the areas in your life right now that you're currently facing where you're feeling stuck energy. For me, it can be the situation with having difficult conversations with someone, or knowing exactly what to say or when to say it. Another example that I recently faced and I'm still facing is a situation with my apartment, figuring out what's the best thing to do, knowing what's out of my control, what's in my control. And in some ways, when you don't know exactly what to do, you can feel stuck. And along with that feeling can feel overwhelm and anxiety. And I don't try to rush my process, but what I do try to do is acknowledge the feeling that I'm feeling, write it out, own what it is that's coming up, and ask myself, what is it that I can do in this moment to proactively respond to this situation to my best, most compassionate, most strong, most authentic self? What is it that I can do in this moment? If you don't have the answer, then sit in the stillness of not knowing. Sometimes we're so scared to sit in the stillness and the confusion of not knowing because it brings up anxiety in our body that we avoid sitting in the stillness. We avoid sitting in the stillness, and what happens then is we act reactively and maybe do something or say something that we didn't mean to say because we didn't have the self-control and the discipline to sit in the stillness with your soul and say, I know this feels uncomfortable in my body and I know it's triggering, but if I react too soon, I'm gonna be even more triggered because it's not coming from my truth. Sometimes answers come quickly and you know what to say on the spot, and that's just amazing. It's amazing when that happens. But sometimes it doesn't. Being stuck is simply not knowing what to do, what to say, and feeling confused and feeling a lack of flow and energy. And we gain energy back when we let go of control. I remember a quote that I had written a long time ago: we gain control by letting go of control. The exact quote I wrote was, we gain the control we seek by letting go of control. We gain the control we seek by letting go of control. And it seems kind of counterintuitive, but it's something that it's a practice. It's like a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. It's not exactly comfortable. None of these things are comfortable that I'm teaching you, but they're more sustainably comfortable. Oftentimes what's comfortable in the moment, the quick fix is not often what is most comfortable in the long term. It's actually what gives you discomfort. When you act reactively, it gives you comfort in the moment and discomfort in the long term. When you act proactively, it gives you comfort in the long term and not always in the moment, right? And this is also part of being mature and conscious adults, is being able to choose not only for the moment, but for the future, so that you're able to tap into what you want to feel like after you say what it is you want to say, or you're able to tap into, you know, what could be the possible lesson or growth after this experience. So another tool that I want to give you that I think is super important is being able to do something different than what it is that you're freaking out about. Like, get your mind off of the thing that you're freaking out about to allow creative energy in. Meditation, prayer are two wonderful tools. Placing your hand on your heart and on your belly, what I call your anchor spots, and saying to yourself, I call myself back from all time and all places. I call myself back from all time and all places. I call myself back from all time and all places. I'm here now. I allow spirit, I allow my higher self to come through. I'm confused, I'm feeling stuck, I'm feeling stressed, and I don't know what to do. I'm feeling out of control. And I'm requiring and asking for divine intervention, divine guidance, because I don't want to use my will to do this. I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Can you pour through me your inspiration so that I can do what is in my highest good? And sometimes that simple prayer can shift things for you. It may not completely alter your situation, but you might have a tiny shift in your perception or a tiny shift in your emotional state that gives you just the amount of opening that you need for clarity and light to come in. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to mute people. Okay, hold on, give me a second. I see people joining and it's so cute because I can see your little faces. And I think that people can actually talk, but I don't know how to mute you guys.
Also on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, good. Okay, so I can hear other people. I'm trying to see. Okay, let's see. Control room. Dial guest. You know, guys, this is a lot to learn in one little moment. I'm going to be honest.
Let me see if there's something we can.
Oh, okay, wait. It says... Anyway. Oh, okay. I can mute.
We can mute.
Okay. Am I still muted? Can you hear me?
Yes.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
We can hear.
Okay, thank you. Oh my God, I just see. Oh my God, this is so cute. Okay. Too much technology for me.
Yeah.
All right, pause me, Miguelina, because I can hear myself from yours. Okay, great. So if you're joining, mute yourself. I'm going to totally figure this out for the next time. Clearly, I'm not the most technologically savvy person, but I'm even shocked that I did this, so I'm so proud of myself. So yeah, so you want to be able to get your mind off of it and allow yourself a tiny moment of clarity so that you can allow yourself an opening for spirit, for your higher self to come through. Because if you're harping on something and you're beating yourself up about it and you're trying to figure out at the same level of stress in which you're feeling, then you're not going to come up with any great ideas. Give yourself permission to rest. And even though it feels like the last thing you want to do when you want to get unstuck, that is exactly what you need to do. You need to surrender. You need to let go. You need to admit that you are powerless in that moment. You need to admit to yourself that you don't have the exact answer and that is okay. And breath work is so powerful. So what we're going to do now is one of my favorite breathwork techniques, which is Bastraka. Seems a little bit kooky and crazy, but it's fucking amazing. Put the song on. Oh, a fly. Put the song on for me, Miguelina. Okay. So, Miguelina, come be my model.
Hi.
Okay, so everyone place your hands above your head if you can. So your hands are above your head. Your feet are planted firmly on the ground. Your root lock, mula bandha. You're tightening, squeezing in. You can add a little squat at the end. So you're going to place your hands, look above. You're pulling in the cosmic energy from the sky's strength, and you're rooting it into your what is this called? Ribs. Okay, so inhale in. Ha! Okay, keep on. Ha! 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 Add a little bounce. Ha! Ha! I'm powerful. I'm strong. Ha! Ha! I have all the energy I need inside of me. I can figure it out. I'm allowing new energy to pour in as I get unstuck. I am free. I'm powerful, and I'm allowing new energy to come to me. I am the creatrix of the universe. Ha, 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 ha. Okay. And then at the end, you put your hands above, close your eyes, inhale in. So relaxing, this music, huh? I love it. So you choose whatever music you like. When I really need a lot of energy, I need gangster rap to kind of like make me feel more grounded and happy. But I also listen to my meditation music when I want to calm down. But for energy, it's good to listen to music that gets you hype. Okay. So you see, I did that and I feel happier. It's like boom. It's like a little energy recharge. So when you do this, you are actually bringing in more oxygen. You're allowing your nervous system to reset. I really want you to understand what you're doing, because when you are in a state of fight or flight, and when you are in a state of stress, you are not thinking your best thoughts. You don't have access to your broader consciousness. You don't have access to the thoughts that you usually would when you're calm, creative, and relaxed. And so when you give yourself these tools, so some of them that we talked about so far, meditation, prayer, and this breathwork technique called Bhastraka that I learned from my teacher Sam. And it's also called transformational power breath. If you look on YouTube, you can also see a video that I did with my friend Tatiana. And so this, again, is because you are allowing in new energy to come in. For those of you that don't know about the work that I do as a therapist and as an emotional empowerment coach, I guide clients into understanding their story, hearing their patterns, hearing where they're stuck, hearing where they're repeating the same patterns, giving them love, giving them support, giving them energy and tools in order for them to connect the dots, get support, and see where they can bring in more light and bring in more energy. When you bring in more light and more energy, you never know where that light's going to go in your life. You don't know if it's going to make you more money. You don't know if it's going to get you a better relationship. But what you do know is that as you love yourself more, it is always a win-win. Another one of my quotes, don't know where it came from, but it was one of my favorites. When you see me looking, I'm looking at Miguelina, by the way. I'm not like just looking into space. I'm weird, but not that weird. So when you do that, you are actually allowing yourself to, I'm going to mute. Yeah, move here so that I don't look like a weirdo looking. So when you do that, you're allowing yourself access into creative potential. You're allowing yourself access into this new world of information. That energy comes in. This energy for breath work, for example, is for empowerment, for willpower, for self-esteem. And oftentimes when we're feeling stuck, we're feeling disempowered. So the point is, and the tools that I'm teaching you is to give you tools to make yourself feel empowered. And again, when I do this work with clients, the thing that I've realized has worked so much is not only the love and the energy I give them in the space, but also the strategic tools that they can do on their own in the midst of that feeling stuck. So my challenge, as you are learning, I want you to take notes and write down and make notes of what resonates for you, is for you to do this the next time you feel stuck. The go-to when you are feeling stuck is to sit and sulk. I love a good complaining fest. I think it's important for you to have people, your therapist, where you can just bitch and complain, excuse my language, because you need that. It's healthy. It's righteous anger. We need to own the things that are funky, and then we need to say, okay, I got that off my chest. Now what can I do? What can I do that's actually going to make myself feel better? Go work out. Go take a walk. Go be in nature. Go get pretty. You know, this may not be an extremely fabulous outfit for you guys, but for me, for me, this is me getting dressed. This is me getting ready. I mean, look, it's a cute crop top, mala beads. I mean, I usually dress in pajamas and like look like a homeless man. So when I get dressed, it makes me feel better about myself. And it's these simple things that for you, if that's something that you do quite easily, then that might not be as much of a challenge, but maybe it's getting outside the house. Maybe it's calling someone and offering them a word of encouragement so that you can get out of your own mind and help someone else and get out of your own routine and stop stressing and allowing more light. In Kabbalah, there's a formula called the proactive formula that I love and adore. And this formula is about, in the moment of an obstacle, the first step is to not react to the obstacle. It's to notice the obstacle and understand that your response to the obstacle is the actual obstacle, not the obstacle itself. The obstacle itself is not the obstacle, so being stuck is not the obstacle. Your response to the obstacle is the real thing. That is the thing that actually keeps you stuck. It can be sucky, it can be uncomfortable, but that is not the real problem that's going to get you stuck. It's your response to it. Again, this doesn't mean that you don't have permission to, sorry, there's like flies. This doesn't mean that you don't have permission to be angry, but it means that you are understanding that the real obstacle is your response to it, and this is going to give you a more empowered energy. The second thing is to not react to the obstacle. To call in on the light, your higher self, your most whole self, and ask for guidance. Once you feel calm and peaceful, you ask the light and your higher self, what would you have me do here? And you wait until you hear that guidance. And then when you hear it, you do something proactive. You do something loving. You do something kind. You do something compassionate. You do something courageous. You do what it is that your soul would have you do. Your soul is what I call your higher self, that voice of love, that voice of encouragement. And your soul is not always like this, like super sweet self that does everything, you know, polite. Your soul is the part of you that is expanding you and helping you grow. That is your soul voice. And your soul voice is what's going to be your guide and your compass in the moments of uncomfortability, in the moments of obstacles, in the moments of stuck energy. When you give yourself that space, whether it's through meditation, through prayer, through the breath work I taught you, you are giving yourself permission to plug back into source. When you are plugged back into source, you can think more clearly, you can act more clearly, you're giving the words that you need to say, you're giving the timing, you're giving the faith, and it's not always 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it is. But the more you do this, the more you're going to have energy in your body to tap into the next time you go through something. So now, having done this many times for myself, when I go through an obstacle, I'll get annoyed, but I know I have a reserve of faith and energy and light from all the times that I've chosen to act proactively in the moment of a stuck energy or an obstacle. And this is kind of like the bank, the storage bank of light that you get to access. And again, these are all tools for you to access the miracles, the transformation, and the growth that lives beneath the stagnant energy and that breaks the stagnant energy so that you can access the growth faster and more peacefully. So stagnant energy doesn't always have to be something that gets you, doesn't always have to be something that gets you down and out for weeks or months. It can be something that can really be a teacher if you allow it to be. So I want to pause for a second and ask if you have any questions. I'm going to have maybe, let's see, Laurel, who's on. Let's see if you can unmute.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Wait, so first of all, this is so funny because I've never done this, but you could see me, right?
Yeah.
So fun. Okay. So tell me what is something that you have, anything you want to share about stuck energy and what you're learning about what you can do to be more proactive in the face of stuck energy?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I can.
I've noticed that a lot of, maybe you talked about this before I joined, but that a lot of my emotions are stuck in my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel them release when I do Kundalini yoga, when I go to yoga therapy, all kinds of things. So I've been noticing that the more that I do that, the more I release physically, the better I feel emotionally.
Yeah, that's right. That's such a good point, and that's what the breath work does. The Bashtak, I don't know if you saw that.
Yes,
kind of the ha,
cool.
ha, ha, ha. That is, it's a tantric feminine path Kundalini, not Yogi Bhajan Kundalini, but the feminine path of Tantra. And it's actually exactly that, because the stuck energy, most importantly, we forget that we are in these physical bodies, and the energy stays stuck. And when the energy stays stuck in our body, it actually makes us feel heavy.
Yes.
And when we feel heavy, we don't feel inspired because quite literally we're zapped of our energy. So when people feel stagnant, it's not just a word, your energy is stagnant and zapped. When you are doing Kundalini or breath work or whatever resonates with your spirit to activate you and reignite you with the light or source, you are getting light and energy. It's like you're being charged again.
Yeah.
So if it's helpful for people, think of yourself as this kind of like, be compassionate with yourself and gentle, because we're like these little beings that need to be recharged, especially when we're not feeling like things are flowing or when we have a moment that comes up. So thank you for sharing that, Laurel. Okay, great. And so what I've noticed is also something that's important is to the thoughts that we tell ourselves as we are going through moments when we feel stuck. They tend to be very negative and they tend to be very exaggerated, right? They tend to be, oh my God, I always go through this, or oh my God, I never know what to do. And it's like the voice of your ego, the fearful voice, is always is attacking you, and it's giving you like the worst kind of negative scripts you can imagine. And when you're in that state, it's like a bully is living in your mind and you're not even able to hear your soul. The loving self-talk is what we need to use to combat that voice. So we need to nurture a conversation within ourselves, to ourselves. I call this mothering ourselves or parenting ourselves, fathering ourselves. And this is where you become the adult to your inner child. When we become stuck in moments, it usually triggers the inner child. It's usually about root chakra things, which means your primal security. It usually is something about not being validated, not being seen, not having enough money, not being loved enough, not feeling secure. Not feeling secure. And when we don't feel secure, we act crazy, because security is what we all need as human beings. And so compassion in that, and then tapping into our higher self and being the mother, the higher self, the nurturer, or parenting ourselves in a way that nurtures our inner child. So one thing that I've been doing lately that really helps in getting unstuck is developing a really deep and powerful relationship with your inner child. And you can do this very simply. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can go on YouTube and look up guided meditation, or go on Pandora and put flutes and listen to relaxing music, maybe light a candle to get yourself in a quiet kind of ambiance. And you lay down in your bed and you place your hand in your anchor spots, which is your belly and your heart. And you lay down. And you call upon the image of yourself as a little kid, usually before the age of 7. And you could do this for your inner teenager as well. And even your inner 20s self, right? You could do this for whatever age, but we're going to talk about the inner child first, the below 7. And you pull up that image. And you think of that little child that's there. And you imagine her reacting to whatever it is the obstacle is in your life. And she's scared and she's nervous. And she is freaking out and doesn't feel secure and doesn't know what's going on. And she's so scared. And she has a particular way of handling this. Your inner child is going to be very different. Maybe your inner child is going to shut down. Maybe your inner child is going to throw a tantrum. Maybe she's going to want to escape into music. Maybe she's going to yell. Maybe she's going to cry. Maybe she's going to feel paralyzed. But whatever it is that however it is your inner child responds, you then take on the role as the adult and nurture her. So I had this powerful conversation with my inner child, who just so happens to have adorable big that were ginormous. And I pictured little Christine, who had a lot of love and a lot of trauma. And she was so scared to even talk to me. And she was so scared to talk to me because she didn't trust adults. And I hadn't visited her in a while. And so I told her, it's okay. I'm here. I'm going to protect you. I want to comfort you. What are you feeling? What are you going through? What's making you feel scared? And I just hugged her and I loved her, and I was crying and I was sobbing and I was releasing, and I was developing a relationship with my inner child. I was making her know and giving her words of affirmation, saying, baby, I know that you're scared. I know that when this situation happened, it made you feel really unloved. And I know that that reminded you of that time that your daddy left you when you were 3 years old. And I know that you feel scared, and I know that this reminds you, and you're feeling trauma right now. And I know that you don't know, and you feel it's all your fault. And I know that you are innocent, but you think it's your fault. And I started to really, really tap into it. And in this meditation, it really feels real, because it is real. You're going into a different dimension. And when I was in that dimension, I felt so sorry for my inner child. And I had so much compassion for her, because I forgot how much this little tiny being had gone through. That's me. She lives within me. It's easier for me to be harder on myself as an adult, because I look at myself in the mirror, and you have all these shoulds of what you should be like as an adult. You should be able to handle this, and you should be stronger, and you should have learned your lesson, and you should have gotten through this, and you should be all peaceful, and all the spiritual books you did should have already worked, and you should all over yourself. And you lose the most important gift that we can give ourselves to get unstuck, which is compassion and self-love. And so what I realized with doing this deep work with my inner child is that A, it's very, very powerful, and B, that it takes time for your inner child to trust you, depending on the kind of childhood that you have had. So when you are usually getting triggered in the moment, it usually has something to do with your past. Of course, I'm going to say that I'm a therapist, but I believe it's true. And I want you to really nurture and be compassionate and loving with your inner child as you see yourself in moments where you do get triggered. As you find yourself in moments where you're feeling like you don't know what to do and you feel helpless. That the helplessness is the innocence of a child. A child is helpless. But you can come in as the wise, loving, secure adult and give your inner child love. This helps you to calm your nervous system, not feel as stuck, and respond proactively versus reactively in the face of that obstacle. When you do this, you open up the gates for calmness, for security, which is what we're looking for peace. And all of a sudden, even though nothing on the outside has changed, something internally has changed, and you end up feeling more peace. You end up feeling more secure. Every single moment in your life is part of your destiny. Every single moment in your life is part of your destiny. And the way that you access expanding your destiny cannot be compared to anybody. And you can only compare yourself to who you were yesterday, so that you can see, am I growing? Am I doing the best that I possibly can do in this moment to grow and expand? And you do that with radical honesty and with stillness. And if the answer is yes, then you're good. Then the miracles start to flow in. Then the answers start to pour through. Then things start to align to your highest destiny. When you resist and fight and push through and try to get through the stuck energy because you're angry and resistant, then you block the opportunities for growth and you block your peace. And that is what is key in getting unstuck. The peace is what it is that we seek. So I'm going to review really quickly some of the main tools that I gave you. Meditation, your anchor spot. I call myself back from all time and all places. I call myself back from all time and all places. I call myself back from all time and all places. I'm here now. I ask for the divine inspiration from my higher self, for truth and wisdom to come through me and calm me so that I can handle the situation with ease, with grace, and in a way that honors my higher truth, the truth that I cannot see in this moment. Give me the insight and the foresight to choose in the way that is for my highest destiny. Whatever words work for you, or if prayer isn't comfortable, then a meditation. The other thing is Bhastrika, transformational power breath. Inhale in, exhale out. As you stand up, you squeeze the pelvic muscles for an extra boost of light. And you can do squats and kind of dance around and play music. And you can shout positive affirmations. I'm powerful. I'm strong. I have all the energy I need inside of me. I will figure this out. I'm allowing divine insight to pour through me. I got everything I need and things are working out. I will figure this out. The analogy that I want you all to remember is that you are a vessel. When you get stuck, it's just a temporary hiccup and you just need to get reconnected, and it's actually part of your growth process. So we have to be grateful, even though it might suck, but we have to be grateful for those moments because it allows us to grow. Easier said than done, I know, but if you practice the tools, it allows you to transition with more grace through those moments and actually feel more flow easier, which is the most amazing thing, is that you can actually skip some of the suffering and actually feel empowered amidst situations that are feeling stuck. So it's about 8:17, and I want to open it up for another question. I'm gonna have maybe Miguelina share since she's here. So I'm gonna have you come here and share maybe something that people can resonate with what.
Hi, everyone.
This is beautiful Miguelina. She was part of the Goddess Retreat and some 4-week group coaching courses with me, and a member of the Diosa tribe. And so just help us kind of understand different, like maybe a different kind of part of what has made you feel stuck, and what you are currently realizing helps you when you feel stuck.
The first thing that comes to mind for me is journaling. That's one way that when I'm feeling stuck, I go to and I write, and just, it's like people, for lack of a better word, dump their feelings, the not so nice feelings, different ways they work out. Some people need to do kickboxing. I need to journal, and I journal and I get clarity. And like I said in the first webinar that Christine hosted a couple of weeks ago, when I first met Christine about a year ago, I was like stuck. It was stuck on so many levels.
What was the main thing what were some of the levels that you felt stuck when you found me?
What do you mean levels? Like areas?
Like areas, yeah.
Financially, just feeling like I needed to just a better relationship with money. In terms of romantic love, feeling like I was repeating a lot of the same patterns. And I was back at home with my mom for a second time as an adult after a breakup of a long-term relationship. And more importantly, just feeling stuck in like not believing in myself. Just feeling like I let that relationship really beat me down to a point where I had a hard time kind of believing that I could get out of it and get out of the financial rut. And I'm blessed to say that a year later, I am in a very different space. And maybe outwardly, a lot of things haven't changed. I'm still living with my mom. I'm still trying to make more money, but I have more peace, and I can kind of see into the future a little more. And
you left the relationship, right?
I absolutely, praise God.
Yeah.
I left the relationship.
So I think that's important what you said too, which is that like sometimes not everything changes on the outside like a miracle magic bullet, but eventually it will. The thing that really changed within Miguelina was her ability to not feel stuck, which was her ability to believe that she had the tools that she needed, and she felt supported and faithful within herself to do things, right? Like you committing to your dissertation, you saying, you know what, this may not be perfect, but I'm going to get this job and I'm going to make extra money while I do this, right? So there was a feeling of more empowerment in, I'm going to make choices that are best for me in this moment, right? Now, sometimes the ego can come in and say, well, everything's not perfect yet.
Yeah.
Right? You did these things, Miguelina, but, you don't have your husband yet, or you don't have, you're not moved out yet. And the ego is, the ego in the terms of the word, the fearful voice can be quite vindictive and try to make you feel bad. But the reality is that she has changed, that she has committed to do her dissertation, that she has left a relationship that she was in that didn't serve her anymore. And that was huge for her, right? That was huge.
And even now with dating, like now I'm out in the dating world, and even with that, like, there may be moments of disappointment and they're just fleeing. Like I feel disappointed and then I'm like, okay, thank you for the blessing. This is the lesson in it. And I have faith that just bigger and better is out there, where in the past, in that relationship that I left, it was an 8-year relationship. And even when I first started dating, I would have this, oh, is this as good as it gets feeling?
Yep.
And I would have this fear that I couldn't find better, so I should make it work and accept so much BS because this is as good as it gets, where now it's easier for me to say no. And it's
That's
easier,
huge.
which a lot of women in this society find it very difficult to say no. And if they do, they're like ridden with guilt.
Yep.
Where now, honestly, I don't bat an eye and I'm like, no, but I'm graceful, right? Where before I would say no and I would walk out like dragging things, kicking and screaming. And now I'm just like, no, thank you. And I'm graceful.
Beautiful.
And I think that one of the last things I want to say is when you are feeling stuck, I realized this in speaking to Christine, speaking to a lot of other women, and in really going deep within myself, it really, really transpires into other areas, almost every area of your life.
That's right.
And when you start making breakthroughs, like for me, the two major breakthroughs were leaving that toxic relationship and really committing to my dissertation work and finishing my PhD. I feel like controlling that helped me feel better about other areas
That's
in
right.
my life. And it's things are just flowing, and I'm like, yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, and I think what's important is, there were tiny steps where she chose to say, I'm stuck and I'm going to do something about it. She found me, which she shared in the last one, by Googling me how to get out of a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how she found me. That was a willingness to say, I'm stuck, I need help. So maybe this webinar is that for you. Maybe you emailing me and saying, I want to do the goddess retreat, which I have 6 spots left.
Join us.
A plug for the goddess retreat. Woo, woo. We have 6 spots left. Maybe that is the moment that you need help. Yeah. And you say, that's the moment, because you choose yourself and you say, I want to get out of this.
And I wanted to share something Christine and I were speaking on earlier. Last year when I found Christine, it was around March, and she said that I Googled how to leave a toxic relationship, and I joined a couple of seminars she hosted, and then the idea to attend the retreat came up, and initially it was like, no, I can't, the money. Then I was like, you know what, yes, I'm gonna take a chance. Christine was able to work with me and give me different payment options. And even after I had made like the first payment, or oh wow,
watch
Hi,
out,
we're here.
Uh-huh.
Even after I made like the second payment, I remember I was still second guessing myself. And I was just like, how, excuse my French, am I gonna fucking do this? Like, I'm crazy for having committed to this. Just like so many things where that was that relationship I had with money. And the same thing, you can take the same energy and like transfer it to like you leaving a relationship that's not serving you. You leaving a job that's not serving you. And you feel stuck in, and yet like a muscle, right? I worked through it and I persevered, and I remember making the last payment and feeling like, holy shit, how did I do that?
Yep.
Seriously. And then you look back and you see how you made it happen. But the point that I'm making is that even with this retreat, I second guessed myself because I felt stuck and I didn't believe in myself, and I did it. And I'm going back in July, and that decision.
So cute. Don't mean to interrupt, but I love you guys. Please interrupt us with compliments whenever you want.
Too.
We love you too.
So yes, that was the decision to attend the goddess retreat really set a lot of things in motion. And I'm glad you kind of plugged it and was like, hey, join us, because that is for me, was a really important decision last year. It was one of the, if not the best investment I made in myself in 2015. And it's kind of still, what's it called? It's still bringing in like profit, for lack of a better word, on the emotional side.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Thank you for sharing. And the craziest thing is, I quote unquote made this retreat, right? But for me, it's crazy, and I'm humbled, and I'm like, like I told Beginning, I don't know you. Like, we met online a year ago. Like I met her. She's a sister though. And it's incredible what God does and what the universe does. I would have never met Miguelina if I wasn't listening to my soul and making baby steps that I needed to make to get out of that abusive relationship years ago. If I didn't listen to the voice of my soul when I was on the floor being dragged by my hair, literally, and if I didn't make that decision to say, I don't care how hard it is, but I'm going to do this to love myself, I wouldn't have been able to serve the women that I'm able to serve. I wouldn't have been able to heal myself and continue to heal myself and grow. And the women that come to me wouldn't have been able to, yeah, maybe we could put it in my rosemary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that good?
Just don't want the shadow.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's
like
good.
that's fine. We don't need
It's a
that
nice
much light.
sexy light.
Yeah. Ooh, all sexy and moody. So yeah, we, you know, if I wouldn't have done that, and if Miguelina wouldn't of made that tiny step and said, you know what, I'm not happy. Admitting that you're stuck is the first step. Admitting that you're stuck wherever you're stuck is the first step. The second thing is saying to yourself, I'm willing to get help. I'm willing to ask for support. Whether that be with me or with someone else that you resonate with, I don't care. What I want is that you find something and someone that can guide you. We need support, whether it's a tribe or a sisterhood. In those kind of environments, we thrive and we grow. When we can see our reflection in another woman and say, she's gone through this and she overcame it. And when we have that bubble of love, we have a container where we can literally feel like we're in a womb and be reborn. And that's exactly what happens in the Goddess Retreat and in the work that I do. It is really a place where I become like this, you know, Gaia, like Mother Earth, and really hold space for you to do the healing that really is required for you to grow. And again, I'm not promising you a perfect magical bullet for everything, but I will say that I have had tremendous results in my clients. I think now over 11 girls have gotten engaged, married, had babies, and have specifically said, if it wasn't for your work, I wouldn't be where I am in my relationship. And that is such an honor. Most importantly, the relationship with themselves, the relationship with their soul, the relationship with their intuition. And again, it's first acknowledging that you are stuck. Just like Miguelina did that night where she was like Googling and saying, I'm stuck, I'm not happy. Whether it took you 1 year, 2 months, 8 years, it doesn't matter. If you're feeling it and you're wanting change, you deserve it. The second thing, being willing to ask for help, getting outside your comfort zone, however scary it is, and saying, I'm willing to do something different. I'm willing. I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway because it feels good, the good kind of scared. Right? And when Miguelina did that, I remember we stood on the phone. It was supposed to be a 15-minute consultation call, the free ones that I always do, and we ended up staying on for much longer. She ended up joining my 4-week group coaching courses in person. She ended up joining other events, the Malo workshop, and all these things. And then she did the retreat. And she's continuing. She's actually going to be coming this year and assisting. And so, you know, this work is powerful. And if you work it, it works. And if you allow yourself to know that it won't be easy, but it will be worth it, then your eye will stay on the prize, which is that your peace and your sanity and your self-love is always worth that kind of battle. Because if you're choosing between a battle of the ego and living in chaos and living with fucked up guys and living in bad mental patterns in a job that you don't want, and you're playing out that drama, why not use your energy and work for something that you really want? Because at least then you know that you can trust yourself and that you're going in the direction of your dreams and your soul and your truth and not staying stuck. And that is the point of being here incarnate in these bodies. We are divine, beautiful children of the divine, and that we are meant to grow and to learn. And as we grow and expand, we gain the light that we need. Like Miguelina said, we don't know where the light goes, but it expands us and it grows us. And so wherever it is that you are in your life, I hope that this webinar served you. This is my gift to you all. This is my deepest passion, is to continue to heal myself and to continue to hold space for healing others so that people can live more in alignment with their divinity and worth. And as we do this, we create a ripple effect of more loving people, more conscious people, more open-hearted people, and we live a happier and healthier life. I thank you all so much for spending time with me. It is 8:30 on the dot. I'm getting really good at this. And for more information on me and my work, go to christineg.tv. For those of you that were unable to watch it live, you're going to have the recording. And I thank you all for your patience as I grow and learn through my technological journeys on YouTube. And yeah, continue to tap into the tools that I gave you. Continue to take time today to really hear and be honest with yourself where you're stuck, and be willing to ask for help. If you felt alignment with my vibe, with my story, with this work, then I encourage you to email me, christinegtv@gmail.com. My website, again, is christineg.tv, and you'll find information on my retreat, information on my other services. Does anyone have any questions or any comments? You can unmute yourself. Oh, I got kicked off. It's okay, Mama. So do you have any questions or comments before we get off, Laurel, since you're here?
I just want to say that this is awesome, and I love you, and I love the work that you're doing. And a lot of what you said resonated with me because I've had to do a lot of work on myself to get to the place where I am right now, and I'm still growing. And I just feel like you're inspiring me in so many ways as a professional and as a person, and I hope that one day I can help as many people as you have.
Oh, thank you so much for that beautiful compliment. And you can and you will. And, you know, your willingness to shine love and blessing on me goes back to you. Anytime that we give love to others, it always comes back to ourselves. And I've been really getting better at receiving love and really allowing myself to understand that the work that I do is so powerful, because I don't think I understand. You know, I can't consciously understand it because it just comes so natural to me. But I know that there's nothing in the world that I'd rather do, and that that this is my gift. And just like you, whatever gift you have in your heart, you absolutely deserve to live that gift. And that is why it's so important for us to be honest about where we get stuck, because as we do that and as we have the willingness to grow, we expand, and then we can share that. Usually where it is our wound is our wisdom. And then we end up sharing that wisdom more authentically because it's really from experience and not just from our mind, but from our heart and from going through it in the trenches ourselves. So I hope to get to work with you one day, and I hope that you continue to shine and dare yourself to share your light, as uncomfortable as it may be, and know that your unique voice needs to be heard and your unique medicine needs to be heard, because there's never enough love in the world. There's never enough. We need all the love and all the light workers that we can possibly have. That is the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, sweetheart. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to sign off. I was all tired and exhausted before this, and I was like, I'm going to go straight to bed. And as usual, because when I do this, I plug into the light, I get all energized. Such a testimony to the work. Now I'm all like excited and happy. So thank you. I love you. Have a blessed evening, and check out my retreat. It's going to be July 15th to the 18th in tropical Puerto Rico. 6 spots left, only for women. And I also have the Diosa Tribe if you are unable to make the Goddess Retreat, which is a $97 a month virtual group coaching. And we started, so you can join. The theme this month is soul relationships versus ego relationships. It's for 5 months and $97 a month, and everything's recorded if you can't join live. All the information on my website, christineg.tv. If you click events, scroll down, you'll find the Diosa Tribe one. And if you go to christineg.tv and click the tab retreat, you'll find all the information for the retreat. And if any of that is confusing, or if you want to hop on a call with me to see what's a good fit for you, email me at christinegtv@gmail.com. Thank you all. Have a blessed evening. Thank you. Bye.